Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Emmanuel, and today we're going to be learning about animations. Now, I'm really excited for this because it drastically improves the look and feel of your application. Now, today we're going to focus on the basics. We're going to learn different animation styles. We're going to learn some of the mistakes that people make while working with animations, and we're basically going to see how we can animate different properties of our view. And in subsequent videos, we're going to be learning more complex animations. We're going to also focus on, real world use cases. So if you're excited for this, then go ahead, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, it only takes a second to hit the subscribe button. And if you're excited, just jump right in. So here I have a very simple project. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add a rounded rectangle to our view. And what I want to do is whenever we click on a button, I want the rectangle or the square to move from the left all the way to the right. All right. So how do we do that? So first things first, we have to create the rounded rectangle. And we can give this a corner radius of 10 maybe. And then we're going to add a fill color of, let's say, red. And then we're going to add a frame with a width of 100 and a height of 100 as well. And to move this to the left, what we're going to do is we're going to add another frame, this time with a maximum width of the infinity. And then we will add an alignment of, what am I doing? An alignment of the, beautiful. So we should see a rounded rectangle with 100 by 100, beautiful, at the left. Now we can add a button right here that says our usual text, click me. And whenever we click on this button, we want to move the square, the box, from the left to the right. How do we do that? So we've learned in past videos, we need to create a state variable. So here we say state var, and we can say, you can call this move right. Initially, this is going to be false, so it's going to be at the left. And so whenever we click on the button, we want to move right dot toggle, meaning we want to change the value from true to false, or from false to true. Now doing this alone is not going to move the box. What we have to do is to actually move it. And we can do that by changing the alignment. So initially it's leading. If I were to change this to trailing, then it would go to the right. So what I can do is to use a ternary operator, which goes like this. You say if move right, then use trailing, otherwise use leading. So this is a ternary operator. Condition, if it is true, execute this. If it is false, execute this. Now, if we click here, it goes to the right. Click again, it goes to the left. Beautiful. Now, how exactly can we add animation to this? It is really simple. In SwiftUI, all you need to do is say, with animation, I want to execute this. That's it. Very simple. With animation, execute this block of code. So now, if I click on this, you would see that now it animates from left to right. Click again, it animates from right to left. Very simple. Now we can actually go ahead and change the style of the animation. So if you just open your bracket, you just press the dot operator again, and you see that we already have some pre-built styles here. So bouncy, default, we just use default, ease in, ease out, interactive spring, just different things that you can play around with depending on your use case, all right, or your design, what you want to achieve. So let's try one more. Let's try the bouncy. I think I like this one. It's not that bad. So I click on this, click me, boom. You can, maybe you notice that bounce there, click, it bounces, right? And you can see just how simple this was to implement. Now, here we are animating this property. How exactly can we animate other properties? Let's go ahead, create a rounded rectangle. And I'm just going to copy that. And this time, let's try to perform a rotation. So let's say when we click, I want this rounded rectangle to rotate all the way to the right. Okay. So how can we do that? Now, what we can do is right here, I'm going to say rotation effect. And I need to pass in an angle. I can choose degrees and specify 180. But then not just 180, but I have to use a condition. So whenever we're going to the right, so whenever we're to the left, it should be 0. When we're going to the right, it should rotate 180 degrees, right? So to do that, we just say if moving right, then this should be 180. Otherwise, it should be 0. So this is going to come here. And when I click on this, something weird is going to happen. So just click. Yep. So you can see that there's some rotation happened here, but that looked really wrong. Now, can you guess what happened? I'll give you a second to do it. But I'm going to show you, because it's going to be easier for you to see exactly what's happening. I'm going to add a background color. Actually, let's add this right here. So color dot, let's say color dot green. So I'm adding this color just so I can see this. Now, when we click here, watch what happens. So you can see that this entire frame is actually what rotated. And the reason I'm showing you this is just to reiterate how important the placement of your property modifiers are. So if you put this here, this is going to be rotating this frame. And that's what is happening here. So when we click here, it rotates the entire frame, right? So what we want to do instead is we want to rotate this here. And when we do this and we click here, you would notice that now only this one is rotating. Okay, it's just something I wanted to show you. So now you can see that we have two animations running. So it moves to the right and it also rotates. At the same time, you probably have guessed that we could also animate, for example, the corner radius. If we want to change this to a circle, so it can come here and say, if move right, then it should have a corner radius of 50. Otherwise, it can have a corner radius of 10. So when this is done, I do this. You can see how now it rotates like this all the way here, comes back like that. Okay. And we can do one more. We're going to do one more rotation here, one more animation. And this is going to be scale. So let's say that we want to, let's not rotate here, but we want to scale the square, the box, while it's moving from the left to the right. So we can use here the scale effect. And what we're going to do is say that if move right, then we want to have 0. Should we scale it up, scale it down? Let's scale it down. 0.5. Otherwise, it should be 1. All right. So when this loads, click here. You can see that this got smaller. Come back, got bigger, smaller, bigger. And you see that here, this is, we can actually modify the the anchor point so that when this is scaling, it is scaling, currently scaling in the center. We can make it scale top left, right, center, bottom right, whatever. All right. So yeah, this is just something else that I wanted to show you. You can animate many of these properties. So your corner radius, your color, if you want to change the color. So if you were to just animate your color here from X to Y, you can do that as long as this is connected to a property that is changed with animation. All right. And that's how easy it is. Of course, this is very simple animation, but you can already imagine how these things can scale. For example, here we have the scale effect. So whenever we click on this button, we're seeing that the scale is changing. Now imagine for a button, we could have that whenever you click on a button or you press down on a button, it's going to animate the scale effect of that button so that the button shrinks down a little bit. And then when you let go, it comes back up, right? So this is a very typical example of an animation that we would see in things that, you know, have like this press effect. All right, we're going to see this in future. We're going to implement this kind of example in future, so don't worry. Now, one thing I also want you to notice here is, you know how all of these things are connected to this property. And then whenever I change this animation style, it basically affects everything, right? So this one, this, and this, they all execute using the bouncy. If I were to have other views that are connected to this same state, they would animate with the bounce, right? Now, there are certain situations where we want only a specific view to animate, or we want this view to have a special type of animation, this one to have a different type of animation, this one a different type of animation, but all of them connected to the same state. Now, how exactly can we achieve that? So what we can do is, rather than using withAnimation, which is basically going to animate everything that is animatable, that is also connected to the state, what we can do is, for each of them, we can add an animation property. So here, I'm just going to say animation, and we have two properties. We're just going to go with this one that has the value. So here, first of all, we have to specify the animation. So let's say here we want to use, or let's say easeIn, easeOut, different one. So we want to use this animation, and the value that we're going to be basically tracking is the move right. So whenever this move right changes, we're going to change that with this animation, or we're going to execute the changes on this view with this animation. So now if we click on this, you would see that this one animated using the easeInOut, but the others jumped, right? Because here, none of them are executing with animation. There's no animation specified. And then here, we didn't say to execute with animation. So it's still going to update the view because the state has changed, but it's not going to animate that. This one is going to animate that because we've specified that there's some animation there. Now, another thing I'd like to show you here. So let's say we add this animation right here. What do you think would happen? Now, when we do this, let's do it. So click, you notice that here it moves without animating. So it moves instantly, and then it animates the corner radius. And that's because whenever you use animation, it's going to animate everything before it, right? So here, the only thing that's animatable based on the state is the corner radius. So this is going to animate using this animation. And then everything afterwards is not going to animate because there's no animation property specified. So it's not going to animate. So it's just one other thing that I wanted you to know. So you may run into a situation where this is just not in the right position, and then the animation is not working as expected. So in this case, we want to animate everything. So can move this right down here, or even here, still fine. Go ahead and click here, and then we see that it rotates and also moves with animation. And as you've guessed, we can actually change this. So now this is going to execute with easeInOut, and this is going to execute with bouncy. So click, you can see that this bounced. I don't know if you saw it. Yep, it's more visible coming back. So it's bouncing, and this one is just moving like that. Great. Now we're going to add one more animation here. And you can actually just go ahead and play around with the different types of animations that are possible here. So you can see a lot of them here. So just go ahead, play around with them, see what works for your specific use case. So here, this is going to animate with snappy. So we can click on this and we're good. Beautiful. Now, one more thing I'd like to show you here is with these animations, we can actually go ahead and specify some duration. So you would notice here, so let's say out, that we have this property here, duration. So we can say that this executes for 2 seconds, and it's actually the same that we can use for bouncy, also has its duration, snappy also has its duration. So we can decide to change how long one animation runs over the other. So here we're using the same 2 seconds, and it's going to go. It also shows you how each animation is different. Some would start slow and faster, some would have a bounce, some would not have a bounce. So this just shows you, like you saw, this one went a lot faster, but all of them would end in 2 seconds. So yeah, this is another way that we can implement animations. So you can see we have a lot more control over how our animation should work with the individual views. All right. So of course, like I said earlier, this is the basics. And in future, we're going to be doing a lot more beautiful animations. We're going to work with pulse. We're going to do more interactive animations where you press down. We're going to work with gestures. So if you're excited for this or you're looking forward, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification so that you are aware whenever new videos are released. All right. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.